Good afternoon. I'm making a quick beeline to the greenhouse because it is cold. It is 1:30 and it's 43 degrees out here today. We had a pop-up storm last night. Oh my, it feels good in here. It is 77 and I haven't opened my window today and I don't plan on it. But last night I was standing in front of the fireplace and we had like a flash of light come in the window, and I looked over at my husband and all of a sudden, boom, a crack of thunder out of nowhere, and it started pouring rain, windy. It was just literally out of nowhere, and today it's just gorgeous but cold. So I guess it brought in a quick cold front. I don't know how long it's supposed to stay. I think tonight it's going to be 27, so we're on a little cold spell, but I'm sure it'll snap back up pretty warm before long. That's how December is going to be, I think. I'll show you guys my lettuce. It's still doing pretty good, which I'm surprised because we have had a few cold nights since I've grown this lettuce. Last night I decided to cover it up. Now I've got some carrots in here. I thought this might help preserve it on these cold nights coming up because it looks really good. It's just an experiment. Gardening is for sure an experiment. You win some and you lose some. But it looks really good. This is actually head lettuce. It looks pretty crispy. I might have to try some. Check out my hummingbird vine. It is dried up and boy does it have a lot of seeds probably all over it. So I don't know if this is going to be a mistake or not because it may come back with a vengeance everywhere if these seed pods are blown everywhere. Mercy. I don't know. I mean, it was beautiful and it was a really great little habitat for hummingbirds, and the birds like to fly in here. And even in the wintertime, it's somewhere they can go in and kind of get in here and get insects and things like that. But I just don't want this stuff to come back everywhere. Because I really want my zinnias to come up and my sunflowers to have their own space. I was thinking about maybe making this like a bird zone out here over the summertime with all the flowers, maybe having some nice little feeder areas. I think that would be really cool and really fun. I could do some videography from the greenhouse. It just would really be really neat. I think I'm going to grow some flowers too. Maybe after Christmas I can start my own flowers in the greenhouse, because when it comes time to start buying them, March, April, everybody's wanting to buy them. The prices of them are so ridiculous. And I thought last year, man, I could have grown my own. So it'll probably take them a little while to be to the point like you go buy them in the spring. So I think January will be a good time to start some of those flowers. And this area will be a perfect place to start my seeds because I can control the lighting and the amount of lighting they get. I won't do zinnias and wildflowers because they're just so easy to pop up, but things like I want to grow in the front yard, like annuals, I can do them. Little marigolds and probably some petunias, just kind of things like that. So I need to check out and see what seeds I've got and possibly go ahead and purchase some pretty soon. I'll do a little quick close-up of some of my pretty plants and let you guys enjoy them for the next minute or so. Good morning. It is a chilly day here in East Tennessee. We were in the 20s last night, but the sun is out, so that is good. I am making some pinto beans in the crock pot today, and I'm also going to make some jalapeno cornbread, so that's what I'm fixing to do, get that mixed up. This time I'm going to do these in the crock pot. Now they originally say to soak them overnight, and I probably should have, but it was just kind of spur of the moment, and my husband's like, how about pinto beans? And I was like, oh, that sounds good. So we're gonna see how long it takes them to cook on high. I will say that they are delicious in the crock pot. My favorite way to cook them, actually. Now I'm gonna cut up some jalapenos to put in the jalapeno cornbread. That is our favorite kind of cornbread to eat, and I usually make mine a little bit milder than the recipe calls for, but you can really add the jalapenos if you like a lot of spice. We like it a little spicy. Alright, I've got my cornmeal, and we're gonna go with a 1/2 cup of chopped onion. Alright, I got my onion chopped up, and now for the peppers. Now, since I'm halving this recipe, it was originally 3 eggs, but I don't want to do the whole recipe, so I'm going to do 1.5 eggs, which one of my Cochin eggs works perfect, because look how little they are. Look at that little thing. That's so cute. Now I've got to add corn, and I'm going to use corn that we froze from the garden. And this really calls for cream corn, but I've used this before as well. So a 1/2 cup of milk and a 1/4 cup of oil, and we should be about ready. This will do enough to fill my cast iron skillet. I have a pan of cornbread for our dinner tonight. The whole recipe does like a 9 by 13, which I found is just too much. We have a bunch of leftover, and I ended up throwing some out, so I don't want to do that. So this is just perfect. It is 5:30, and the beans are still cooking. I should have totally soaked these overnight because they still got some time to go. But that's why I've waited a while to put the cornbread in. But we're gonna go ahead and do this because this takes 45 minutes, and then I may make some potatoes to go with it or macaroni and cheese. I haven't decided yet. Make mashed potatoes, got some corn from the garden. I've also decided to slice these up, and I'm gonna cook them on the grill in my cast iron skillet because I have like a little eye out there, and I'm gonna do them that way because I really do like them fried in the cast iron skillet. Supper. Well, it's the weekend, and we had quite a bit of rain last night. And more rain on the way, even more than what we just had, I think. I think it's currently in the 50s. It's not too cold right now. I was actually thinking about going for a walk. I think this next round of rain that's coming in this evening, tonight, and all day tomorrow is bringing in a cold front, because I do believe we're going to be in the 20s again at night. So Seth got me some new pellets for my stove, and hopefully they're going to work pretty well. We're also kind of getting the hang of figuring out how to get this stove started pretty good. There's some kind of little procedure my husband's been doing, and it's been starting better. So I haven't had the stove last night or the night before because we were only in the 40s, and it generally doesn't get below 60 in here, even when it dips down to the 40s or upper 30s, especially if we've had sun the day before. We found some pellets at Tractor Supply. They are $4.99 a bag. We've not used these before. I think the BTUs say 8,400, which I think the ones I had before were 7,600. So we should be okay with these. They should be warm enough to keep it decent in there. I moved some plants around this morning. I had my bench sitting this way, and I just had to come in here and move it around. I moved it the other way, and then moved some of my trees out and just kind of rearranged. You know, you gotta do that every now and then. That's why I had my husband build these things as opposed to a permanent shelf, because I can move things around much more easily with these small things instead of having to come in here and take shelves down and all that, because I did that once already. So, and I really like the bench on this back wall back here. Looks pretty good. And these are a lot of my shade loving plants, bromeliads, some low light succulents. So this is what I've got going on under here. A lot of these plants can take advantage of these bigger trees. I can put them underneath here and provide shade. And I've also got shade cloth as well, which helps tremendously. I'll see that break in the rain that we've got. Starting to look a little cloudy over toward the Smokies though. So I'm sure we're gonna cloud over before too long. All right guys, I think I'm gonna go out for my walk. My intentions were yesterday to go out birding at a local park. They have a lot of trails. It's on the lake. It's really cool. But we had a change of plans yesterday. My father-in-law was having some pains. He'd been having them for about a week. He carried some heavy stuff, and he originally thought he had like pulled something, but then it started getting worse and worse and worse. And then he thought, well, maybe a cracked rib. So he went like over to the clinic, and they did like an EKG and said, you might be having a heart attack or fixing to have one. So everybody just like panicked. So they called an ambulance, and then I went to pick up my mother-in-law, sat with them at the emergency room. They did a bunch of tests, ruled out a bunch of stuff, didn't see anything at all that looked alarming. They said it was probably more than likely just a pulled muscle. Praise the Lord. But still, nonetheless, he's sore, but way better than any kind of heart issues. So thank goodness it was nothing bad like that. But it was a long day. You know how it is when you have to go to the emergency room. I don't know about where you all are located, but around here, you better be prepared to sit there for a while. They're busy, and it was just super weird because they bring you in one room, then they take you in another room, then they take you in another room. You go out to the lobby, go back in. I don't get it. It didn't used to be that way, but I know they don't have a lot of staffing anymore, and just, I don't know. We need to pray for our healthcare system. But anyways, I'm headed out to walk, and hopefully one day coming up this week in one of these videos coming out, I'm going to go birding. Put a special on there of that going to the park, because I think I'll be able to capture a lot of cool stuff. All right, I think before I walk, I'm gonna go pilfer through my neighbor's greenhouse. I haven't been over there in a while, and I like to look at his plants too. Ooh, it's humid in here. He's got a little bit different ecosystem than I do, just because mine is facing a different direction. He also has a lot more plants than I do. He's also got an aquarium in here and a little pond, which helps bring in some humidity. And I know that would probably help mine a lot. Y'all, just got a severe weather alert on my phone, and it was saying about the possibility of tornadoes and damaging winds and all that kind of stuff. I think more toward Middle Tennessee, but they're still saying it's a possibility here too. I think maybe around 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock for us is what I read, but my goodness, crazy weather coming. And hopefully for you guys in Middle Tennessee, it's not going to be as bad as they're predicting, but we'll have to keep an eye out. I love this plant right here. It is beautiful. I'm going to have to get a cutting. He's brought all of his tropicals in. Of course, you have to this time of year. Got some cute little fish back there swimming. That is cool. Oh, I love that. His bird of paradise is blooming. I have a lot of struggles with these. I'm worried about overwatering them and underwatering them and too much sun, not enough. I'm just not sure about it. I've had mine bloom one time, Gorgeous sea of succulents back there. Love it. Crown of thorns. Beautiful plumeria. Clips on. Wow, it's heavy. Cool.
Oh, you got everything?
Clamp on deck hook. I found this really cool hook. Actually got it at Walmart. Eli and Grace were out, so they went and picked it up for me. I thought it was really cool. It clipped on, so I could kind of move it around like according to what window I want to put it near. And I could get like a closer shot of my birds with my camera, and I'm pretty excited about it. This birding hobby can be addictive.
Where do you want it at?
I don't know yet. Wherever I can see it out the window good. Let me look out the window. Alright, I've got it clamped up and I need another feeder now. But in the meantime, I'm going to try this one out here. See if we can get some birds to come to it. Yeehaw.